Hello, World at War class, and welcome to week 3, module 3. Today, and the last couple of days, you've been looking at the impact of America had on the battlefield in both World War I and World War II. And that was great. But what we now have to look at is the effect of the battlefield on the soldiers. And this is a fascinating topic that maybe you've seen in the news even today, with how war is affecting our soldiers that are overseas today. In World War I, they kind of picked up that there was this new thing that they called shell shock, this idea that if soldiers are out in the field too long, if they do horrible things, then they will be, some of them might go they might have some mental difficulties dealing with what they've seen and what they've had to do. And so this became known as shell shock. So not only do we have soldiers who are killed, not only do we have soldiers that are wounded, we also have soldiers that get wounded so bad, whether it be like a facial wound or something, that they will be devastated when the war is over and they try to get back into society and they look the way they do, without arms, without legs, without faces. Well, we also have people who look normal, but they got something wrong in their head, and that's what war does. I mean, we ask them to do things that you're not supposed to do, and we have a chart that we're going to ask you to analyze things on. But as the ugliness of war goes up, as people do uglier things and they see more ugliness and they see how horrible people can treat each other, it becomes easier for them to do that. Now, vice versa, and I want you to keep this in mind, and the opposite is true as well. The more good people do, and I think you'll see this as well, especially with the Holocaust, the more good people do, the easier it is for the people around them to do good as well. And so just remember that, and we'll get to more of that at the end of our study here. But certainly the ugliness of war affects the value of life from the soldier's perspective, and it ruins their whole desire to live. There are other consequences as well. For the families that have soldiers who died especially, we suddenly see in World War I an increase in things like seances, which are, is when people get around at a table and they hold hands and there's someone who claims that they can make contact with people on the other side. So seances go way up. Ghost sightings. There are many families who keep the room of their dead soldier exactly like it was when they left, because they think that maybe the soldier still lives there. They think that maybe if they leave it like that, they will never forget about their dead son. So those things are very important to note, that the effects of death in World War II or in World War I, the effect of death and the effect of getting wounded is far-reaching. It's certainly not just what happens right there on the battlefield, but it goes on for years and years, both in the minds of the soldiers that survive and also in the families who lose family members as well. So we're going to ask you to kind of look into this concept of shell shock and the effects of war on individuals. So good luck with that. I look forward to your analysis, and I will see you next week.